In reality, people who talk about their past for no more than 5%, their future for no more than 25%, and their today future for the balance is significantly likely to hit a success ratio of somewhere around 9 out of 10. I can tell you in one conversation how likely you are at being successful. It won't necessarily be about the information that you pass to me. It'll be how you pass the information. You see, there is a series of language patterns that will dictate whether or not you're going to be successful or not. And they were actually modeled by Jesus himself. The best thing about this is when you recognize the language patterns, you can adapt the language patterns yourself. You can make it your conscious job to adapt how you use your language to achieve better outcomes for yourself. You see, in faith we say we pray everything into existence, which is true. But prayer is every word you utter and every thought you think. Every word you utter and every thought you think is made up of language. And therefore, if we think and speak in certain ways, we will have certain outcomes. And if we think and speak in other ways, we will have other certain outcomes. Some certain outcomes will take you towards things that you wish to have, and other things, language patterns, will take you certainly towards things you do not wish to have. And so because we have control, and he gave us control of the words that we use and the thoughts that we think, we can ensure that we steer the ship of us into the future we want simply by adaptation of our language. Now, you know this to be true because you meet people who've got 6 problems for every one solution. You know that the 6 problems for every one solution people aren't likely to be successful because you won't want to do business with them. You won't want necessarily to spend time with them. In fact, actually, you'll find them hard. You know this yourself because without realizing it, you've prayed or thought certain things into existence that you really don't want to happen to you. We know this because if we focus on negative, often we end up observing the negative. It's incredible how you can have 2 people in the same room. One person who believes that all people love and care for other people, and another person who believes that all people are out to stab you in the back, do bad to you. And both of them experience the same room at the same time in completely different ways. This is all based upon something called observational focus in psychology, which is you get more of what you focus your observation on, what you focus your language on. And so let me share with you how it is that I pick up in a conversation the likelihood of somebody being successful. The first thing is, which direction does most of their language go? Are they backwards facing? I.e., they spend more time talking about the past and how the past has impacted them, how the past is relevant, past stories, and other such things. Those people are trying to run forwards whilst facing backwards, which is a bit like trying to drive a car at 100 miles an hour backwards in reverse, expecting not to crash. Those people usually end up crashing and often end up focusing on the negative from the past as opposed to the positive from the past, but not always. The likelihood of somebody who in their language refers to yesterday more than they do today and tomorrow being successful is somewhere around a 2 or a 3 out of 10 if they keep on using those language patterns. This isn't to say that we shouldn't use the past to learn from it to dictate better actions and thoughts for the future. But we don't have to talk about the thing that happened that we learnt from in order to go and think about it in the future. You see, what most people will say, well, once upon a time I was here, this happened, I touched the hot pipe, burnt my hand, now all hot pipes are bad, blah, 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 blah. And they tell you all the story about this, when all they have to do is go, I won't touch any more hot pipes in my future. You see, the story is the limiting factor in the past. The thing that sets you free is when I next see a hot pipe, I won't touch it. That sets you free. So the next language pattern in terms of the direction of language is people who just talk about the future the entire time. Now, there's different elements of future. There's future present and there's future. What I'm talking about now is future. People who are wildly dreamlike into the future. They're always talking about next year, the year after, next month, 10 years time, one day if I could had, my dream is, my goal is, my everything is. And they're busy trying to live a future that isn't sustainable today. It's the person who builds the perfect Excel spreadsheet for how their business will be. The problem is that the language traps you in the future, and it's the actions of today and the language of today which dictates the future. And so the third pass is future present. That's now in this minute, now in the next 10 minutes, maybe up to the next 10 or 12 hours. That usually can be highly practical language. This is what I'm going to do today. This is why I'm going to do it. This is the difference it's going to make. I'm going to give the next 3 hours, the next 3 minutes, next 30 minutes to it. In the knowledge that we can achieve a baby step today that maybe can take us towards the future. In reality, people who talk about their past for no more than 5%, their future for no more than 25%, and their today future for the balance is significantly likely to hit a success ratio of somewhere around 9 out of 10. The people way off on the future the entire time are going to hover somewhere around a 3 or a 4. The people on the past, a 2 or a 3. And so I'd ask you to go and consider, what is your language? Go and listen to yourself for a day. Every time you speak, what are you speaking about? Maybe in this next 24 hours, write down past, future present, future. And just put a little line every time you find yourself thinking or speaking about that. What you'll notice is a pattern. And then I'd like you, based upon what I've shared, to start adjusting the pattern. The second chunk of this is around your language type. Are you talking about finding simple, easy solutions that can happen now? Or are you finding the reason why solutions can't happen? Too obtrusive, don't like the noise, too busy, too hard, too expensive, too this, too that, don't want to work that hard, blah, 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 blah. Need to consult people, need to do this, so on and so forth. Jesus just consulted God, by the way. Solomon consulted God. You see, all those successful people just consult him. They don't consult everybody else. They lead with the guidance of him. And so how are your language patterns with regards to what you talk about? Are you talking about simple solutions that you can action today, or a simple step of a solution that will take you towards a bigger solution that you can start doing today? Because the reality is that the big solution that you can't afford to do today is as much of a problem as talking about the problems themselves and being stuck in those. And so yet again, you can go and do an analysis of the language you use, maybe over an hour, 6 hours, 12 hours today. And at the end of it, you're going to come up with an evidence base for yourself. You, therefore, will be able to predict your own likelihood of success. And off the back of that, you can dictate your successful future by making a conscious effort to talk about things in a different way, to go and change the outcomes that you would like to experience. That is how God built all of us, with his words in chapter 1 of Genesis, in his image in chapter 1 of Genesis, and gave us the resource base to dictate our future, either as an accelerated journey towards magnificent, or applying the handbrake and being frustrated and letting the enemy play out in our worlds. Let me know how you get on.